and thank you for attending our virtual showroom tour of Source 4. Unfortunately, we can't see you guys in person as much as we want to, so we wanted to be able to offer this virtual showroom tour that we are actually live streaming. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lindsay Thornburg, and we're just excited to show you guys our space. We've been in this space for a little over 2 years now. It was actually a long time ago, a very old mechanics shop. So there are 3 bays. And each bay, if you can, imagine an old mechanic shop, had these big garage doors, which let in tons of natural light, which we love. So the first bay really showcases all of our product that supports a bunch of different working styles. So this really is sort of our first big work room, our work bay. The second bay is definitely more of a meeting space, and it bridges the third bay. It kind of brings all the bays together. So that really highlights a bunch of different product for both formal and informal meeting spaces. The last bay is our last working space, and then also our design library as well, where we house all of our material samples. During this live streaming, there will be a chat feature where you guys can ask questions. We are all here to answer anything that comes up. And then we'll also be posting links to further provide information about some products that we've featured. So please don't hesitate to reach out. And we will start with our front living room area. We really like to kick off the showroom tour with our front living room. This is the intro into the space. It sets the tone for the design intent for the entire facility, which we really wanted to be about a homeful feeling, a very comforting feeling, not your typical sort of cold commercial showroom. So we set the tone with a lot of Camira fabrics, a lot of wood, which you'll see in this front room. The Arcadia Uptown Social is our sort of living room couch. This is actually a modular collection. We can do both curved and straight sectionals, individual lounge pieces as well. The other 2 pieces that I really like highlighting in this space are both by OFS, our OFS Beck cocktail table, and then our OFS custom faux fireplace. We designed this custom faux fireplace specifically for this space, and it really highlights and showcases OFS's woodworking and custom capabilities. So that kind of completes our front living room area, our introductory area, excuse me. Next, we'll move into our first bay, our first working area. So as we move into our first bay, again, this first bay was designed around the furniture that helps support all the different types of ways that we work. So we have our more sort of collaborative work being showcased by OFS Stacks, our height adjustable Stacks benching collection. We have more focused, heads down, a little bit more private space with, again, the same Stacks collection, just in a completely different sort of tone with panels and everything. And then we have our 2 private offices. We have our open office with OFS Impulse G2, and then we have our enclosed private office with OFS Slate. The whole space is really anchored by our respite area. Again, we wanted to convey that sense of comfort and that sense of homefulness, and we just wanted an area where people could step away from their workstation and be able to decompress, check emails, have a phone call. So that space is, again, anchored by our OFS Intermix planters. And then there is the OFS Rowan sofa with the chaise, so you can kind of relax, check emails. And then we have our OFS Kasura chairs, with the high back, upholstered back, and the 4-star base. So again, you can kind of just sit there, check emails, or have a chat with anybody sitting at the workstations as well. So here we are with OFS Stacks. OFS Stacks was actually designed in response to a very significant need that the designer saw in the corporate office environment, where the way that we work was somewhat being dictated by the furniture, and that's really not the way that it should be. The furniture should really be there to support the way that we work. So she created Stax. It was actually Pam Light with HOK, and Stax continues to be our deepest collection. We can do what you see here, which function more like workstations. We can also do private offices, and then we can do benching as well, both fixed height benching and adjustable height benching. So what we're gonna really focus in on today is our Stax Crossover. The reason we call it Crossover is because it brings the look and feel of private office case goods into the workstation and open plan environment. So we're really enabling workers to feel much more comfortable and feel like they're working at a private office instead of at a steel cold cubicle. So all of our panels are either wood wrapped or laminate wrapped panels, which definitely, again, sort of conveys that private office feel. Also is a lot just quieter than steel as well too. So it, if you, you know, accidentally kick a panel or anything like that, it's not gonna have that sort of echoing metal sound that we all hate. Aside from the wood look and feel of the case goods collection, we really wanted to be able to customize this to the nth degree for everyone using these stations. So we can customize the panel height. We can add screens for privacy. We can customize and add height adjustability. We can customize the storage. There's 3 different storage heights. We have the lower height storage, standard height storage. We even have bench height storage. Then we have overhead storage as well too. We can customize further acoustics by adding tack board panels, fabric wrapped tack board panels. There's really just, again, an unlimited amount of things that we can do with this collection to really make sure that it is accommodating each user individually. Accompanying the Stax stations, we have our Leland Handy stool, which is sort of a newer stool and perfect for smaller footprint spaces. It is tested to 500 pounds like almost all other Leland products. It is also stackable, comes with 3 different tops, either just a poly top, a wood top, or a fabric top. And it's got this great sort of ergonomic cutout at the bottom so that you can put your feet in there, or you can even throw your book bag in there as well too. So the other addition that we really like to pair with any workstation, any private office in general, is our favorite chair. It's our Hog Capisco chair. We have actually been selling this chair for over 30 years here at Source 4. We are big advocates of this chair. I sit in this chair, and everybody else basically in this office sits in this chair as well too. So Hog Capisco is originally based out of Norway. It was inspired by a horse saddle. And so again, the cutouts in the seat really allow your legs to sort of slope at a downward angle. And what that does is rotate your hips forward and put your back into correct alignment and correct posture, instead of having a lumbar support really force your back. So again, your back is aligned in correct posture. It releases sort of your neck and your shoulders, and you don't have any arm rests, again, creating further tension in your neck and shoulders. You can engage the arm rests when you're not tasking. If you're talking on the phone or talking to somebody, you can engage that back and engage the arm rests. But when you're tasking, your arms are just naturally loose and at a 90-degree angle. So again, reducing any sort of tension, back problems, etc. Aside from the ergonomics, the other reason that we really love showcasing this chair with any sort of workstation or private office is because of the extended cylinder of the chair. So what the extended cylinder of the chair really enables you to do is utilize the full height range of your height adjustable surface. So you can bring your chair up pretty high, as you can see, and actually sort of just perch or lean against your chair and work at a taller desk if you prefer, or you can bring it back down to standard height. So here we have OFS Heya. This has quickly become one of our favorite pieces in the showroom. Heya was another sort of design response, very thoughtful design response to another need in the marketplace. We felt that we were needing sort of these pop-up meeting spaces, spaces that didn't require full walls, but still required an amount of privacy. So again, with Heya, you can see sort of these privacy panels. These are always upholstered in a felt or a vinyl material for added acoustics. Vinyl, of course, for cleanability. And the basis behind Heya is that this is really highly reconfigurable. So we can remove these banquettes and add them into different parts of the facility if we need to, if the needs of this space change. We can sort of rearrange the screen. We can add 2 guest chairs or a task chair here instead if we need to make this more of an office or a workspace than a huddle room. We can add more privacy onto these. We can extend the length of the side panels. We can add even shrouds over the top, again, for more privacy. We can even add casters onto the bottom and push bars to, again, sort of encourage that mobility and enable people to be able to move around. So I think this is gonna be a really important collection going forward post-pandemic, as it really is just highly adaptable, very private, can be reconfigured in any way that you can imagine. So definitely be sure to check out the link so that you can see all the different options that we can add on to this, all the different sort of reconfigurations that we can do, little rooms and spaces that we can create with this product. And next we'll move on to Bay 2. So we've arrived in the second bay, which is sort of our bridge between the 2 work areas of the bay. And it really shows a lot of product that highlights all the different ways that we gather, all the different ways that we meet. So quite a few informal gathering meeting spaces, and then our formal conference room as well too. The first product that I want to highlight is the OFS Lean-To. OFS Lean-To just launched last year at NeoCon. It is definitely a more designed approach to the privacy pod. So it's got this beautiful wood shroud around the outside. That shroud is actually not structural, it's aesthetic. It can be removed if you'd like to remove it. A couple different options that we can add onto it. We can add a light that actually comes up from the back cushions and lights up the back of the unit. We can add power, we can add USB. We can also add these little shelves onto the side, these little tablets onto the side, or we can just bring up a little pull-up table instead. When sort of aligned along the wall, it creates this very beautiful built-in feeling to it. Or instead, you can put it right in the middle of the room. You can finish the back or even put whiteboard on the back to really create some great space division. And in our sort of, in our bay too, we've paired the Lean-To with a couple low back Skara chairs, our Rue table, and one of our Hinchata poofs. So moving on from Heya, then we move to Coact, which you can see behind me. Coact is sort of making up our cafe area, our cafe space of this second bay. So we have Coact in this part of our space in sort of more of a banquette version, but Coact is a massive, massive collection. There are curved sectionals, there are high back sectionals, there are individual lounge pieces, there are tables incorporated in, we can incorporate power, there's 4 different leg options. There's endless options that we can do with Coact, so definitely click on the link below so that you can see all the different things that we can do with Coact. It's actually an extremely comfortable sit and at a very affordable price point, so it continues to be one of our sort of most popular items. With Coact in our cafe area, we have the 1920 tables. We have our new Yelly chairs, also from OFS, and we're showcasing it with our Agile Power Beam to show how we can incorporate a little bit more power into sort of a place that you wouldn't normally expect power in a cafe area. So somebody can sort of plop down on that little perch pad and charge their phone while they're talking to people eating their lunch. So that's COACT in our cafe area. Beyond the cafe, we have our kitchen area, which definitely has become the magnet of our showroom. Everyone definitely gravitates there. In our kitchen area, we have our Kintra table with some Modelo stools. And then our entire kitchen cabinetry is actually OFS as well. It's actually mile marker cabinetry that we put a custom top on. So we have done that for healthcare settings. We've done it for break rooms. It's a quite diverse product category. Rounding out the rest of this second bay is sort of our transitional dining area / informal conference area with our Beck table, again, sort of more of a conference height this time instead of the cocktail height that you saw in the front. The Beck table has that same 3-piece wood base, a glass top. This time the glass is smoked. And then we just put an array of different chairs around it. One of our most popular chairs, the OFS Harpen. We have 3 different Leland chairs. We have the Leland Amadeus, the Leland Omina, and the Leland Rapson. And then the 5th chair is actually our Sosego Teresa chair, which has the beautiful little sort of like burnt yellow seat pad on it. And then finally, in this section, we also have the brand new OFS Cosima chair. This is quickly becoming one of our favorite and most popular lounge pieces. It is, in our showroom, it's in stitched leather, but you can do obviously an array of different fabrics on it. But I wanna call out a couple details with this. Definitely sits a little bit higher and a little bit deeper than a lot of our other lounge chairs out there. And it has this beautiful sort of overstuffed feeling to it. So all the edges have really been rounded. The stitching has been specially designed to really emphasize those rounded edges. Even the wood leg detail on the bottom is rounded. So it just creates this really comfy, overstuffed, curved look to it. Again, quickly becoming one of our most popular lounge collections. So the last part of this bay that I want to talk about is our conference room. It's actually our formal conference room. What I really want you to notice as we move into that conference room is the noise in this space and my voice in this space and how it reverberates. We've got a tin ceiling, we've got a glass wall, we've got hard flooring, which is not uncommon in any space. And so you can really start to hear how my voice echoes. And when you get more people in here, it just, again, increases that echo and that reverberation. As we move into the conference space, you will notice immediately a significant change. Our conference space is outfitted in Snow Sound panels, both along the ceiling and along the walls too. Snow Sound panels is an acoustical material which has a really high NRC rating. And you'll notice immediately as we move in there how it just deadens the reverberation time in that room. So let's go in there and check it out. We're in the conference room and you can immediately hear the difference in my voice. You can hear the reduction in the reverberation time. You can hear how it's not as echoey. Same tin ceiling, there's glass still in this room. The biggest difference is really that the ceiling is lined with our Snow Sound acoustical panels, and then we have Snow Sound acoustical panels on either side of our monitor behind me as well too. So Snow Sound, I mentioned the NRC rating, that's the noise reduction coefficient rating. It has a 1.0 rating, which essentially means it absorbs 100% of the sound waves that hit it. So it is the highest performing acoustical product on the marketplace. And it does its job, as you can tell, extremely well. So really we're excited about this product, and it's definitely a game changer in this room and a game changer in any space that we put it in, really. A couple other things I want to call out in this conference room are the table and the chairs. These are both by OFS. The table is our OFS 11 wood series. Beautiful wood leg. And then the top is actually our reclaimed white oak finish. Actually spliced together leftover strips of white oak from the factory. So it's got a beautiful sustainable story to it, and it's just a really beautiful finish as well too. And then our OFS Pure chair. This is one of our newer conference chairs, extremely comfortable to sit in. Also has these beautiful upholstered arms as well too. So really great for a beautiful wood top or a glass top where you're a little bit worried about that contact with the arm against the table edge. So that is our formal conference room. Next up, we will move into the third and last bay, which is our last work area, as well as our design studio. Here we are in the third bay. This is our design studio as well as our last workroom too. Our design studio is really open to designers, architects, dealer designers, anybody that wants to come in, help select finishes, help put a project together. Right next to our design studio, we actually have our create space. This is sort of our non-digital white space area. We have a Fulbright glass board. Fulbright is a small little manufacturer that we represent that does glass really, really well. They use the low iron Starfire glass that's non-streaking, non-ghosting. They do all of our glass boards. They do mobile glass boards. They also do custom glass tables as well too. It's a great little manufacturer. And then also in this space, we have our OFS Hinchada in our Ultra Fabrics Totori, where they're the reps for Ultra Fabrics as well too, faux leathers. Love the Hinchada, continues to be one of our most popular pieces, super comfy and cushy, so a piece that you can really just sort of sink into. And then last but not least in this area is our Flirt series. This is the Flirt guest chair, but the Flirt also comes in a lounge chair, training table, great little conference room pieces in that entire collection. Cool thing about this Flirt chair is the seat flips up and it can nest. Even with the lounge version, it does that, and it is available with a swinging tablet. The tablet actually swings out of the way so that you can still nest the chairs. Further on in this room, we have our open plan benching station with that's showcasing both Stax and Agile. I'll go into that into further detail. And then we also have Obeya. Again, going to take a much deeper dive into Obeya later. And then towards sort of the back of the room, really sort of complementing the whole open office environment, is a couple privacy pods. We actually have our Heya individual privacy pod with the shroud over the top. We have our Silent phone booth, a fantastic phone booth line that we represent that actually has two fans, one fan that runs constantly, so when you walk in, it's not like a hot box when you get in there. An occupancy sensor that kicks on a light, and the secondary fan when you walk in. Also, I love that the back of the unit is glass, way less claustrophobic when you walk in there. And it's got some amazing other features as well. Again, you can find out more by clicking on the link below. To sort of round out this section towards the back, we have the OFS Evergreen sofa and the OFS Rowan Credenza. That's actually our Rowan Credenza that is the taller version. Again, another great space divider. So we've used that to kind of cap off the end of the space back there. So let's take a deeper dive into Agile and Stax. So I want to highlight our open plan benching system in the middle of our third bay here. This is a compilation of our Agile Power Beam, Stax collection, and as well as our SIS ergonomic base collection. I really want to kind of explore this a little bit more in depth because it's going to be, I think, a really pivotal piece moving forward. So Agile was created as a response to a need for more flexibility in the workplace and more future-proofing in the workplace. It is highly adaptable, highly flexible, highly reconfigurable, and we have tried to show it in a couple different ways here. So essentially what it is a power beam. It distributes power throughout various locations through the facility so that the worker can seamlessly transition from individual working at a height adjustable or a fixed workstation to more small casual group workings, or even sort of an individual perching pad like you saw in our second room in our cafe area, where you can just sort of sit, perch, and charge your phone while you're checking emails, etc. So it really enables just a greater usage of the space and future needs, supports sort of that changing to future needs of the space. Our beam here shows both cantilevered work surfaces off the top and then freestanding height adjustable work surface as well. We have a ton of different screen options, both down the spine, as well as we can do screens separating each individual user on the sides as well too. Our screens can come in various different materials, from glass to acrylic to fabric to even TFL screens as well. And we can do screens for privacy, health and safety up above. We can also do screens below the beam for modesty as well too, again in various materials. We're also showing our up-mounted storage, again, that is mounted to the center beam itself. This is actually a shared storage, so it's open on either side, and then we have our pinned board in the middle. Aside from that, we can do planters to kind of bring some greenery into the space. Like I mentioned, we can do the perch pad that you saw in the second room, and then we can add all different kinds of floor storage to the unit as well too. Here we're showing our Stax floor storage unit. Transitioning from that to our height adjustable bases, again, this is our Sis Ergo height adjustable base. Aside from just the standard, full BIFMA height range of the base, we can also add various customizations to this collection. We can do all different kinds of colors, obviously all different kinds of power, all different kinds of wire management, but a couple different cool things that we can do that really differentiate Sis from a lot of the other height adjustable base manufacturers out there is we can actually do custom technological features, like add a wellness tracker that actually connects to your smartphone device, so that kind of signals you to get up and stand at the times that you need to. In addition to that, one other thing that we've been able to do with this collection is we've been able to highlight sort of a height range lockout. We can actually adjust the overall height range so that it doesn't collide with whatever storage piece you have underneath. So that kind of just distinguishes a little bit from the rest of the manufacturers out there. So that wraps up our Agile, Stax, and Sis benching collection in the middle. So we round out our showroom tour with my absolute favorite part of the showroom, which is Obeya. Obeya, in my opinion, is the perfect marriage between furniture and architectural wall systems. It literally extends the warmth and homefulness of wood into that architectural horizon line. So as you're bringing materials above that 42-inch horizon, you want to be very conscious of what type of material you're bringing above that eyesight line. If it's steel, it's going to have a very different, very cold effect on the space than wood would. So again, this is Obeya, pared down to its simplest form. It literally is just 4 posts and beams. Everything else is an add-on tile to the Obeya system. So we can do a wood slatted ceiling, we can do a PET slatted ceiling, we can do fabric tiles, either full length tiles or even half. We can do slatted wood, we can do acrylic, we can incorporate glass, we can incorporate cork board, we can even incorporate tables that float between the 2 beams. So there's tons of different options and different ways that we can really customize this product to the needs of the space. Power, we can power both the posts themselves as well as the tiles themselves. We can affect the space acoustically by adding curtains to sort of divide up. So there's just endless options that we can do with this category, and it really helps bring a room together and helps divide space and helps differentiate space within a large room. Without, I might add, creating sort of that fishbowl effect that you get a lot of times with glass conference rooms where everybody's just kind of looking in at you. This is much more open, much more inviting, much more welcoming than those other types of glass and steel systems. Our specific layout in here shows a private office as well as a little sitting area next to the private office. This specific private office is Stax, and we are showcasing our new wood leg. We're showcasing our new riser charging drawer here. And then just a couple other fun features with Stax, our raised little minimal leg that helps bring the storage up off the floor, just creates sort of a floating look to it. And then it's balanced out by 2 Lona chairs and a Mave table up front. So that is Obeya by OFS. That concludes our virtual showroom tour. I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming out and spending time with us today. We will keep the live chat open for a couple more minutes. If anybody has any remaining questions, we're happy to answer them. Otherwise, you can always contact us at the email address at the bottom of your screen right now, or you can call us at 303-893-1515. Again, thank you so much. We wish we could see you in person, but hopefully this helps and brighten your day a little bit. Stay well, be healthy, and have a great rest of your day.